Everybody. Welcome back to the Wider Wellness Virtual Summit Summer Splash. And we are here with Jamie Dorley, CEO of Nutritional Frontiers and the Wider Wellness Center. And he's going to be presenting today his Shake a Day Club, his strategic method of getting nutrition into your body using Nutritional Frontiers shakes. Hello, Jamie.
Good morning, Dr. Tracy. How are we doing today?
I'm awesome. It's good to see you back.
Yes, it's been a long time. So I'm excited to go through this because this is a nice, fun workshop that can show you how you can incorporate a Shake a Day, join the Shake a Day Club, and regardless of what your goals are, you may want to lose weight, you may want to gain muscle, you may want to maintain. It's a very simple way to help you with your meal program. And we talk about shakes, we want to realize that the shake is your food that you're going to drink. So this is a nice, easy way to get your supplements in a form of a powder and a shake. This is all part of the, NF for Life program. And when you look at the NF for Life program, which you use at the Wider Wellness Center, we are accepting new patients. So I always recommend that people have a coach, that they work with somebody one-on-one, that they at least sit down with someone and talk about their goals, get on a program, regardless of what your concerns are. So, a little dry today. We are accepting new patients. We do chiropractic, muscle therapy, nutrition, allergy elimination, and then we do all the educational wellness weeks. So when we look at the background of myself, it's be 30 years in December. I started out like yourself as a personal trainer. I worked in sports nutrition, and for the last 20 years, been helping out healthcare professionals implement wellness programs with their doctor, the staff, and their patients, similar to what you did with your background. So when we look at Nutritional Frontiers overall, we're a family-owned, faith-based business. Our mission is making the world healthy, and we have the clinical experience with the Wider Wellness Center, and that is where we bring both teams together for our wellness events. So when you look at quality control in the industry, this is something that's often misunderstood. Did anybody ever ask you, Tracy, did the FDA approve the supplements? Have you heard that before?
Yeah, it's a pretty common question in the industry.
Yeah, well, they don't approve the supplements. They approve the manufacturing facilities. So all the supplements at Nutritional Frontiers and the Wider Wellness Center are all GMP certified. So that guarantees you 100% quality control and that everything meets label claims and meets purity and potency. So there's nothing in there, like no soy or dairy, there's nothing to worry about. So the Shake a Day Club is a fun club we created at Nutritional Frontiers where you simply do one of your favorite shakes every day. We all have our favorites. What's your favorite shake?
Well, I have to say my favorite is the Power Cleanse shake, but I like it with the lean greens. Actually, I like it with any of the colors, but Power Cleanse, hands down.
Yeah, you're not even really a person, you've been honest about it, that did shakes for a long time or really likes shakes, right?
I was burned out, I think, psychologically on them and what they were like positioned for in my life when I did them. So that was probably it. And then kind of once my perspective changed and honestly, Jamie, how many years ago was that? Let's not date ourselves, but 20 years ago that I was doing bodybuilding and shakes. I mean, they weren't as delicious as they are today. Let's just be honest.
They've come a long way, right? And I'm with you. It's not always about the supplement, but when we're trying to improve meal frequency, the shake is a simple, easy, effective, and inexpensive way to do that. Because you look at our philosophy, I mean, you did the same thing with bodybuilding, and it's the same thing we teach now at Nutritional Frontiers in the Wider Wellness Center. A very simple philosophy with eating is quality. I think we all know that, right? The broccoli versus the Twinkie. So high quality food, quantity, which we were talking about earlier, you can't overeat anything, good or bad. But I think the thing that is often left out of the equation, Tracy, is the timing of the meals. I know from bodybuilding and personal training, we would eat about every 2 to 4 hours. We don't want to skip meals because we want to control blood sugar. And that way we can assimilate the nutrients we're eating. But if you do, say 2 to 3 small meals, shakes or snacks by 3 o'clock and about 5 by 8 p.m. So it's a very simple formula to follow. And when you're looking at smaller meals, that's where the shakes really come into play, because you're able to improve meal frequency while at the same time addressing the quality and the quantity of the food. So what's your thoughts on that eating philosophy?
I actually think that's something that, needs to be researched even more because it's so important. And we learned from Paulina about nutrient timing and manipulation.
Yes.
So she has a proprietary way that she does it, and she uses all of our shakes in her program with great success. So it works. We have the clinical application of it. We know that it works. But yeah, your body needs nutrition all day long. It's kind of like supplementation in a powdered form. That's what shakes are. So people say, well, do I have to take my multi all at once, or do I have to take it through the day? Well, Dr. Weiner used to tell them, like, your body needs food all day long. You should take your nutrients all day long. This is just an easier way to get it in, and it tastes better.
Yeah, it's like water. You don't drink all the water for the whole day a week. You got to spread that out because your body can only assimilate so much. So it's a very simple philosophy. I know, the style today is intermittent fasting. However, whenever you do eat, you got to eat quality, quantity, and have the right timing. So when you look at what people generally start their day with, it's either nothing, but the number one meal still for breakfast is cereal. So I just want to show people that when you're eating these types of processed junk for breakfast, you're giving your body information, and this information is going to tell the body to raise blood sugar, store fat, come crashing down, and now you're going to crave food. So probably the worst thing you can do in the morning would be to start with a cereal, especially these high sugar cereals. And when you look at why people crave so much, it's often because they're lacking certain nutrients. I know Joe's going to talk about nutrient deficiency and toxicity, but you look at some of the simple cravings people have. Now, if you're craving a lot of chocolate, I'm not going to stop a woman from having chocolate, of course, especially you, but that's usually a magnesium deficiency. When you look at sugary meals, those are some of the minerals that are responsible for blood sugar regulation. So you got to make sure that you're addressing the nutritional deficiencies to explain why and to prevent some of these cravings, because these cravings are very powerful. And oftentimes that's where people start to have some problems with their diet. So I did a lot of research on this. And what we found is similar to what you were saying, that the research has been done. Meal replacement shakes and nutritional bars, do they help individuals with diabetes lose weight? And it was interesting when they looked through this, because it's been very similar to what I've looked at the last 25 years. When you do, one is change your diet. Second would be exercise. Third would be nutritional counseling. And the fourth would be shakes. Each time you add one of those therapies in, your results get better. So let's go to the next slide and look at that. So why is shakes so important? And why would they help even a diabetic lose weight? Well, one, pre-measured amount of food. When you were bodybuilding, Tracy, did you measure your food?
Yeah, actually we did. And we equated it to our lean muscle mass and fat mass, how many carbs and proteins. So absolutely.
It got very specific, right? Very calculated because you were trying to hit a specific goal, right? So the one thing about the shakes is that it tells you how much food is in there. So it's pre-measured. They are easy and simple to transport. They don't require much cleanup other than, rinsing the blender bottle out. So I know you travel quite a bit. What do you do with your shakes when you go on the road?
Well, we do have them in those nice travel packages, so I take those along. If not, I just bag it up if I have to, because it's important to me. So I'll do that.
So I love the fact that they're so convenient, because what it does on the road, especially for me, because you at these hotels, sometimes they have these big breakfast setups, right? And there's a lot of calorie-dense foods. So I like the fact that the meal replacements, especially for breakfast, keep me away from them. And there's a lot of research. I was talking about foods information. If you give your body high fructose corn syrup or processed sugar, it makes you more hungry. There are specific sensory nutrients in the shakes, like specific proteins and good fats and fiber, that actually maintain satiety. So it reduces cravings tremendously, which is a huge benefit, especially when you're dieting or on a specific meal program. So a lot of benefits for shakes overall. The research shows that it helps.
I didn't know that about our shakes, Jamie. That was a really interesting fact. That they sensory specific nutrients. I think that's incredible.
Yeah, because when you give the brain what it needs, it'll balance out blood sugar, dopamine, and serotonin. If blood sugar goes up and down, you're going to affect a lot of hormones like leptin and adiponectin, and you're going to create a lot of cravings. Plus, as I showed on a couple of slides ago, there are specific nutrients, including minerals like magnesium, chromium, that when those are deficient, you'll have a lot more cravings. So that's what I love about the shakes. They give you the macronutrients, the big components of the food, plus the micro. So the conclusion on this very in-depth study was that people who replaced 2 out of 3 meals lost more weight than a group that just had the low-calorie meal plan using foods. So meal replacements do help tremendously with all those factors, leading to a better weight loss and maintaining the weight loss. So then, I'm sorry.
Oh, you're bringing it back. It's the Slim Fast diet. My mom made me do this when I was a fat little kid.
Oh, me too. We have something else in common. I am laughing because I did this for wrestling. I did 2 shakes a day, and I eat a small meal at night. And I lost weight, but I lost a tremendous amount of muscle. And why is that? Because Slim Fast has very high sugar, very low protein. So what you're doing is that you are starving the muscle, and the body will burn the muscle up. So when choosing a shake, the first thing you want to do is look for about 15 to 20 grams of protein. You don't have to go to 50 grams. But look at the breakfast cereals. Look at Slim Fast. You know they are cheap processed junk when they're very low in protein, low in fiber, low in vitamins and minerals, and low in good fats. So my choice for Breakfast Champions is the Power Cleanse. Simple, easy, effective, and inexpensive. That has your vitamins and minerals in it, which we just learned is so key for cravings and providing that satiety. So this all goes back to the NF for Life program that Dr. Tracy wrote up for Nutritional Frontiers. She's the author of The Pyramid. So we look at the Great Pyramid of Health. We got to build your lifestyle program with the foundations. You want to comment briefly on the foundations?
Sure. The foundations are at the bottom of the pyramid. It doesn't make them less important. It actually just makes them the structure that holds this entire pyramid up. They are good nutrition, hydration, movement, sleep, elimination, and emotional wellness. Those are the 6 things that we, encourage people to change and participate in. And then from that, we have built a protocol of supplementation that they can take or choose to eat. And most of the time I would just walk through this pyramid and say, okay, do you get enough probiotic laden food? Are you eating enough fresh fruits and vegetables? Most of the answers were no. So then we would supplement that. So you can walk through this pyramid and choose a food-based program or a supplement-based program or a combination of both. And it's a very powerful tool for practitioners to use with their clients, but it's also something that people can use as a guide, Jamie, every day to be like, hey, did I get my probiotics and enzymes? Did I get all my macros today? Am I getting my good fats? And this can be a checklist that they can just walk up and then make sure that they're either eating or supplementing.
And that's how I use it, right? Because some days I may be eating, doing more of the power cleansing greens. Some days when I'm traveling, I eat more fish. Sometimes I'll eat more veggies. So I just replace through the supplements what I may not be getting in the diet that day or that week. So this is a really easy way to make sure you're building the great pyramid of health every day in your life. And then you can do it through food, supplements, or I like to do both. So a simple way to get all levels of the pyramid, and why we do this shake a day, you can do it in 1 scoop of Power Cleanse and 1 scoop of greens, which I did this morning. So it's a really easy way to help make sure that you are keeping the calories nutrient dense, relying on the shakes that help you kill off the cravings, balance blood sugar, and a very simple way to switch your metabolism from store fat to burn fat. And who doesn't want to burn fat every day, right? So it's a very simple way. Food's information, and what you eat tells your body what to do. So how do you make your shake a day? Really simple. Pick up protein-based powder. Tracy likes Power Cleanse. Sometimes I'll use the Nido Keto, sometimes the Whey, sometimes Super Shake. Then I'll put in some phytonutrients, and then I might add one other nutrient. Like today, I put in Mag Complete powder. So do you ever add other nutrients to yours?
Yeah, I actually like to add the Power Fuel to the pineapple coconut Power Cleanse and the lean greens. It's it's just fruity, so it tastes really good.
Yeah, it's a nice addition.
A little bit of energy and recovery and some electrolytes, and I have like all the bases. It's done.
Yeah, you can make this fun. You don't have to do the same thing every day. You can change it up based on your requirements. Maybe you're craving something different that day. Maybe you want some extra nutrients in because you're going to be more active. So you can make it fun, but make sure you're doing one a day and pick your protein. So really simple. Pick your protein. So you can use Power Cleanse, which has the vitamins and minerals right in it. You can use the Nido Keto, which is the higher fat, moderate collagen-based protein and low carbs. Super Shake, which is vegan protein, fiber, and MCT oil. Or the best way, which is all lactose-free, hormone-free whey protein. So you can't go wrong with any of the options. It's just a matter of personal choice and what your goals are. What do you do for your clients? What do you recommend?
I think the easiest thing that I recommend for my clients is the Power Cleanse, because we're getting the cellular cleansing that's going on, the phase 1 through phase 3 detoxification, because a lot of clients don't have healthy bowel movements every day. Also a full panel of macronutrients, because they may not understand what a macro is, just getting them to understand the education of food. So this is a good gap filler. And then all the micronutrients, people get pilled out, Jamie, with my clients, and like compliancy is big. So this has been the easiest, most compliant, complete thing that I can offer my clients, the Power Cleanse with the lean greens. Now they're getting their superfoods, their vegetables, their fruits, their chelation, like just so good. That Remove Complete kit is number one, the very first thing I'll put my clients on.
Yeah, you can never go wrong with the Power Cleanse Remove Complete kit. And then you can customize them, right? So we got all the phytonutrients. Now, I always encourage people to eat fruits and veggies. However, you can never get enough, right? There's growth seasons, so you're lacking some of the availability of some of the nutrients. Plus, all the pro colors have been fortified with nutrients you can't buy in the grocery store. And we're going to break down the greens a little more, but greens is all your superfoods and cleansers. Reds has all your fruits and veggies in one, plus brain, liver, heart, and gut support. The purples is really interesting because those are more your exotic berries for aging. We also put some nutrients in there for your brain, your eyes, your skin, and circulation. And then the oranges is still probably my favorite. That's great for energy, blood sugar, adrenals, and weight management. So you got your options here with different colors that you can choose from. You can never go wrong with either one. You can pick by your goal, by taste, or what nutrients you're looking for. So when we look at the Shake a Day Club, we got all these nutrients in there. And here's me. It's actually on Easter Sunday. I decided to do my Shake a Day every day and take some pictures. And we have a Shake a Day Club. So I know we had some fun contest recently. Do you want to share that?
Yeah, we actually put out a promotion for the Shake a Day Club where people could shake up their health. They could show us, how they combine their different nutrients and their favorite proteins and their favorite colors together. Also, any recipes they wanted to share. So this actually worked out really well because then people had to like and tag us and share us. And we had a lot of people participate, and I know that they really enjoyed it. And so I'm just going to pull up the picture real quick so that you guys can see our participants, because we had everybody, Jamie, from babies all the way to, it was adorable. So hang on, guys. I'm going to share this real quick. Let me just get to my computer screen.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I was glad people had fun with it and participated and shared some of their experiences. That's what it's all about.
Mm-hmm. So I'm just going to share this from my email because it's kind of being difficult. This is basically our Shake a Day Club right here, our members. Look how cute they are, these little babies. So
that one looks like you on the top left.
That is me. I had to put myself in there, Jamie.
Oh.
You know how it is. You know how it is.
She's a winner, Phil. She's a winner.
I didn't win anything except good health, but there's Kara from Nutritional Frontiers. We had Renee, who likes to put cacao in there. We had, people with a few of her daily supplements she was putting in there. Look at this cute little baby. He loves the lean greens and the chocolate whey protein. Look at this little doll baby here with the reds. So sweet.
She's adorable.
Yeah, and then we got the Keto Club from Amber Keith. She put it in. She likes the chocolate peanut butter ice cream with coconut milk. So that was her favorite. And then, people really like the greens. So I think, for people to understand that there's so many options out there and ways to use them and how to combine them, it's just a great way to just, strategize your health. So let me find your PowerPoint again, Jamie, and then I'll be right back.
Yeah, no problem. So what did people win for that contest? Because I know we had quite a few winners.
Yeah, they got $100 in product credit with Nutritional Frontiers. Yeah, it was good. So, and it was so simple because all they had to do was like and share, tell us what their favorite product was. And it was easy, and people loved it. They love to share their health. So.
Oh, absolutely. And again, it keeps it fun. So I want to transition a little bit and talk about how does Nutritional Frontiers create some of these unique formulations, because the quality of the nutrients really determines your results. The last thing you want to do is take a really cheap product because, it may not help you and it may add toxicity to you. So we like to review, this is me actually in the lab. So we like to review all the ingredients out there and the ones that we use in the Wellness Center. We select which facility we want to make it, depending on if it's a probiotic or greens or power cleanse, right? We source the patented research trademark ingredients. We create the formula. We test it in the lab. We test it in the Wellness Center. And then we launch it and bring it to market. So it's an intense program. Tracy, you've been involved with this the last 5+ years. And as you know, this may take 12, 18, 24 months, sometimes longer, to launch a product.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's quite a task, and being on this side of the supplement label, right? I've learned so much because as a practitioner, I was just like, why can't you just hurry up and do this, Jamie? I want this product. But really, he could absolutely just throw it to the market like lots of companies do. But that's just not our quality and our brand standard, because we want to make sure that it's clean, that it's effective, and that it's worth every penny that you spend with us. And I can absolutely say from a clinical aspect and from the VP of Education and Marketing and working with you that it 100% is.
Yeah, we rather take our time and do it the right way rather than just launch a product because it's a trendy thing to do. So if you're wondering why we didn't bring out XYZ, we're probably working on it. And these are all the great partners that we have with our patented research trademarked ingredients. There's over 50 of these ingredients that we utilize. And the reason we do is they come with a tremendous amount of research for safety and efficacy. So the difference is the nutrient selection rather than using just generic goods. And if you compare it to, say the restaurant industry, we all are safe to assume that the health department does inspect Mickey D's and Capitol Grill. The difference is the selection of ingredients that they use at those different locations. Same thing with Nutritional Frontiers versus a vitamin brand in a store versus a grocery store. So there's different levels of the field. So let's look at some of these ingredients that we utilize for the power cleanse in the greens. So one of our partners is Gnosis, and we use an active folic acid and active glutathione through that company. So you want to talk about the importance maybe of the folic acid? That may be one that people have heard about, the MTHFR.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so folic acid is really a synthetic form of folate, which is it naturally occurring in foods that contain B vitamins. So folate is the most bioavailable and what our body really knows. When man came out with folic acid, it was a synthetic form that really tried to offset prenatal issues such as birth defects like spina bifida and congenital birth defects like that. They were noticing that women were B vitamin deficient, especially folate. And so they came out with folic acid, which is a synthetic form. Well, over time, and what Ashley was talking about before with gut dysbiosis and heavy use of glyphosate and genetic modification of foods, we have really lost our ability to break down B vitamins as efficiently as we once did. And what's happened is people have a genetic mutation now called MTHFR, which is methyl-tetrahydrofolate reductase gene mutation. And it actually keeps us or inhibits the complete breakdown of folic acid to folate. And so these synthetic vitamins, such as folic acid that you see in supplements, we can't break them down anymore and they actually become toxic. So what we have done is we have added the quadrifolic, which is the patented trademarked 4th generation, most bioavailable folate on the market. It surpasses anything else out there. And we put that in our power cleanse. So really important that you stick to the good quality nutrition and the ingredients that your body can use. Especially now with people, 50%, Jamie, of our population has this gene mutation and they don't even know it.
Yeah, if you look at the number of patients that are seeking out functional medicine doctors, maybe for mood or cardiovascular issues, that's probably 70, 80%. People are probably wondering, well, is this about shake a day? Yes, but these are some of the key nutrients that we fortified our shake with. So you're not going to get that in Slim Fast or the one from the grocery store, but you will get that in from Nutritional Frontiers. So let's look at a little more of the research behind some of those ingredients. The other one that is a key one is the emothian. So glutathione is the most important antioxidant in the body. Nutrients lead to the production of glutathione. However, oral glutathione supplementation has been in question due to the absorbability and the bioavailability of the glutathione. The option has been to go to a liposomal version of glutathione. However, the taste and odor make the palatability almost impossible. It's unbearable for people. It smells like rotten eggs, and it does not really taste great because of the odor is so strong. So what do we use? We use actually something called emothian. This is a reduced glutathione. And let's go to the next slide because there's really two main things that it does well. One, it absorbs in the body really well at a much greater rate than regular glutathione and even things like NAC, N-acetylcysteine. Second thing it does is it actually accumulates in the tissue. And this is important when you're looking at therapeutic responses to nutrients. They have to be bioavailable and they got to be actually have the ability to turn something on in the body, which this does. Let's look at a little more data on the next slide. So what is glutathione helpful for? Heart, brain, liver, gut, just to name a few, plus the immune system. Think about it as the master antioxidant in the body, and people are very glutathione deficient. The last slide showed where you actually have lower levels as you get older due to high oxidative stress. So that's the emothian. That is actually in the greens. The quadrifolate is in the greens and also the power cleanse. You talked about this a little bit. So really important to give the active form of the folic acid. Mm-hmm. In the past, I think what happens, Tracy, is that a lot of the doctors were just giving higher and higher levels of folic acid. It kind of
Yeah.
pushes. And what's the concern with doing that?
Well, it's just going to become toxic if you can't break it down.
Right.
So right here where the folic acid comes in, you can see this is where the MTHFR mutation would lie. And so it does not break down to DHF, does not break down to THF, does not break down to the 5,10 methyl THF. It doesn't break down. So what they have done is actually take it all the way here to that 5-MTHF.
Yes.
And made the quadrifolic, which is the patent ingredient. So this is what we put into our formulas, not up here. That's a big thing for people to understand.
Yeah, so you can skip a lot of those conversion steps that you may be lacking in, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if you give a high dose to one person, they may convert it well, the next person may not. So we want to take the guesswork out of it and give you the best form of folic acid. So we use a quadrifolate. We also use something called biofolate, which is very similar. Some of the other key nutrients that we utilize in the greens and the power cleanse is choline. Now, choline is so important for brain, eye, liver production. It has a unique ability to pull fats out of the liver and convert them to ATP, which is stored energy. And they say that probably 80% of the population is deficient in choline, especially nursing moms or females during childbearing years. So we utilize a patented version called VitaCholine. Oh, your favorite, Tracy. Let's hear you talk a little bit about DMG. Darn mighty good.
Darn mighty good. I love DMG. This is one of those nutrients that when I came to NF, I was like, why don't we talk about this every day of our lives? Because it just does so many things. And I was introduced to this book called Building Wellness by Dr. Kendall, and he's a PhD. He did a lot of research on DMG. This is dimethylglycine. And I love his quote in the beginning of the book. It says, dimethylglycine breaks down so you don't have to. And that is absolutely true. So it is a methyl donor. It gives of itself. So people that have MTHFR mutation, this is a great supplement to put into your nutrition every single day. It's why we add it to a majority of our products. It also is an oxygenator. So this was great during this past pandemic of COVID.
Yes.
People that had to wear masks. This was the #1 supplement I recommended to keep their blood oxygenated. It also has many studies on cancer and apoptosis of cancer cells because of the oxygenation it has. And cancer can't survive in an oxygenated environment. It also is wonderful for brain, SAMe production, neurotransmitter communication, cardiovascular issues, joint, muscle. I mean, there's not a thing, an organ system or function in the body that DMG does not contribute to. So it's probably my favorite of all supplements.
And it sounds too good to be true, but it's backed with all the research. Let's go look at some of the U.S. patents on DMG. We're just going to share a couple. So I love this one, treatment of arthritis and inflammation using DMG. So actually research on it using DMG for arthritis and inflammation. That's why we use DMG in not only the Power Cleanse and the greens, but also things like X-Flame. So let's take a look at one more. So I love this one because it's for the modulation of the immune system and the treatment of anti-inflammatory disease. This was actually done on autoimmune rheumatoid arthritis. So 5 U.S. patents on DMG for the ability to help not only arthritis, but RA autoimmune, treatment of cancer in animal studies. So there's been a lot of research on DMG for over 25 years. What about the toxicity? What's your thoughts on toxicity of DMG?
There isn't any toxicity level that they have found through studies. So you can take it and take it and take it. And the worst thing that will happen is you'll have just too much energy. So I'd probably tell you, like, you know, if you're starting to feel a little bit like, whoa, I have way too much energy, you might want to cut it down a little bit. But it's water soluble. It's going to come out of your system. But in the regards of toxicity in your body and it helping you, it actually helps with the conversion of homocysteine to glutathione and homocysteine to SAMe. So it helps your body detoxify, but it doesn't itself toxify your body.
Right. And Clemson University did studies doing 4,000 doses at one time. And there's no toxicity because it basically just breaks apart and it feeds all your detoxification steps in the body. So no concern with toxicity. So let's just talk about some of the ingredients in Lean Greens and Power Cleanse. We just highlighted them. Now I want to show them in action. And then we're going to finish up with some case studies. So it's actually from one of our clients down in Florida. She had a patient come in with severe brain fog, only 29 years old. This was going on, of course, during COVID. So Dr. Jacqueline decided to put her on Remove Complete, and let's see the results. So she said she felt terrible. She put her on 1 scoop of Power Cleanse and greens for breakfast. And in less than 1 week, she said the brain fog was gone completely. Now, most people would say that's impossible. However, that's the testimonial she provided. What are your thoughts on that? Because we've seen people get results in days sometimes rather than weeks, months, or years.
Yeah, well, I think what we found out from Ashley, right, was that inflammation can be in the brain from toxicity or nutrition deficiency, and this just covers both. You're filling all the nutrient gaps, and you are removing heavy metals with the chelation potential of the Lean Greens, phase 1 through phase 3 detox of the Power Cleanse. You're converting those fat-soluble toxins into water-soluble. I mean, it's a complete program. So that's what
it tells me how deficient people are with nutrients, right? They're not getting in the emodium. They're not getting vitacholine, DMG, B vitamins, the chelated nutrients in here. So it's so important, the amount of the ingredients, the form of the ingredients, and what else is in there. And that's what you get with something like this. You get the right amounts in the right forms to get the best results. You can go to the next one. So let's look at the NF for Life program with something like weight loss. We can go on to the next one. So we look at weight loss overall. They say about 2/3 of Americans are overweight. That may be higher depending on what area you go to. They're saying about 1 in 2 could have prediabetes or diabetes. And cardiovascular disease, which is tied into weight, is still the #1 killer in our country. Weight, additionally, holds all the extra body fat, and that's where you store toxins. So let's look about high stress, body fat, and a male over 50. So this is actually a good friend of ours. And when we looked at it overall, we say, well, you mentioned earlier, the fat cells don't disappear, but they do swell and shrink. Can you explain that a little bit more?
Yeah. So, fat cells are actually organ systems in themselves. No one's really studied them that much. They've only been studied since about 2008. So they are responsible for a lot of proteins that get put into the blood, like adipokines. That's what they're called. So that can be leptin, that can be angiotensin 1, it could be angiotensin 1,7. So they're part of our immune system and our hormones and so many different functions. And what happens is when we overeat or eat things that our body doesn't like, 65% of that will get pulled into the fat cells and be stored for potential energy. So those fat cells become inflamed. They also become inflamed when we're eating things that are inflammatory to our body, because your fat cells actually stimulate the macrophage and cytokine storm, which we heard about with COVID, which is why people that were already overweight had a more difficult time with COVID. So fat cells are actually good guys. They're not bad guys, but they've been demonized. And if we just take care of them and make them healthier, which is what this client did, we can see that they will purge of the toxins. They will release that stored fat and energy so that your body can dissipate it and get rid of it. And you'll be smaller, right? You'll lose weight.
Yeah, and the theory was, well, what comes first, the fat cell or the toxin? What they found is you have to detoxify the toxins so that the body can burn the fat. So we recommend that this gentleman, Dan, did the Breakfast of Champions, the Power Cleanse, and get him off some of the commercially bought cereal he was eating. So let's look at the results. Utilize Power Cleanse New and Improved to get all the liver support, got all the protein, carbs, fat, and fiber. And I think the key is the extra micronutrient profile. You're getting trace amino acids, you're getting the active folate, chelated minerals, and you're getting all the DMG we talked about. So we told Dan to cut out coffee and sugar. And he said he did this for 30 days. He felt great. He got stronger every day. And I'm not guaranteeing these results for everybody, but he lost 30 pounds in 30 days. It wasn't a guy that needed to lose hundreds of pounds. Probably needed to drop about 30, and he did that in 1 month. Let's look at his testimonial. So thank you again for your introduction to the cleanse powder and greens. Been using them every morning. Switched my diet along with the powders and my workouts. Happy to say I lost 30 pounds. Great stuff, great company. I love what you're doing, and it's so important. There's a lot of scams out there. You guys are doing it the right way. So when he mentioned scams, I'm talking about things like we talked about earlier, Slim Fast. What are some of the other products people come in to see you with, Tracy, that you tell them no?
There's a lot of shake systems that start off with like hard cleanses.
Yeah.
There's a lot of calorie restriction diets. I'm not a big fan of hormone manipulation along with calorie restriction. Those aren't my favorite. Allopathic models where they're using amphetamines and then, injections of nutrients to make you feel energized, although you're starving. So those are not sustainable programs. It doesn't teach you anything. It doesn't fill nutrition. It doesn't remove toxicity. So that's really the thing, is education, Jamie.
Yeah, that's a great point. You got to make sure you're on a program that is clinically supported, right? All the research has been behind it. And it's not a program that just came along out of nowhere. We've worked on this program for years, and we have thousands of people have done really well, including our team. So I believe we have one more here. Let's talk about health overall, which you mentioned health, right? So elevated liver enzymes. Those are very common these days due to the high consumption of toxic fats. These fats or alcohol will get congested in the liver, and now the liver's got to work extra to get rid of them. So how does it increase activity? It does it by raising the liver enzymes. So is that something you see commonly with people that are having challenges losing weight, is that they have elevated liver enzymes?
Yeah, and even back in the day, Jamie, we kind of knew that, right? We knew when they hit that plateau, we knew it was like a liver congestion issue. Mm-hmm. So we'd be like, hey, back then I was like, do some milk thistle, do this. Right. Now when I see people halt in their detoxification, whether it's weight loss detox or whatever I'm working with, I'll suggest Live Clear 2, or the liver gallbladder tincture for them from Nutritional Frontiers. And man, that just kicks it all back into gear. So yeah.
So you get a lot of health benefits, and if you need to lose weight, you'll lose weight. But this gentleman actually is a client of mine. He had elevated liver enzymes, and he wanted to do something about it. So let's see his results. His liver enzymes were taken at the beginning of the year. They're a little bit elevated, so at 57. Luckily, he had got them tested and went on the greens and the power cleanse right away. And within 2 months, he reduced them down to normal levels. What do you think would happen if he hadn't had them tested and didn't go on the program? What would you see down the road?
Yeah, disease. You'd see chronic inflammation, right? You'd see something come out of this, whatever it would turn into, whatever chronic issue, chronic disease diagnosis, right? That's what would happen.
It could be jaundice. It could be
fatty liver disease. Non-alcoholic fatty liver. Yeah.
Right. And I just saw him a couple of days ago in Cleveland, and he's down another 15 pounds, and he's really feeling good, he said. He stayed with the greens and power cleanse. And that's just a further follow-up that he got the ranges down to normal. So it's always good to get your blood levels checked. You can bring him in. The doctors at the Wellness Center can read your blood lab values. But you should get your labs checked. I say at least once a year. What are your thoughts?
I agree. I think we have to stop just going to the doctor when we're sick and actually be proactive about our health. Get your levels checked, know where you are so that you can have a strategy to offset anything in the future. We've come too far to a model where we don't value our health until we don't have it. So we need to start valuing it now.
And it's just another parameter, right? It's another tool for our doctors and nutritionists at the Wellness Center to use. It gives us more information so we can help better customize a program for you. And I say at least once a year. If you have any health issues, maybe every 3 to 6 months, you can get your blood work checked, because it does take a while to change it. However, we need to know where you are. And it's not the end, it's just the beginning then, because we want to track blood work over periods of time to see which way we're going. So that's the last part of it, is the greens. So we got the power cleanse and the greens. And the great thing is we can help customize the program for you. So the greens are just one component. When do you recommend some of the other colors for people?
This is my first go-to is the greens, but I usually tell people it's great to have them in your house and just take a scoop every day of one of them. I mean, that's the easiest way to get all your fruits and vegetables and phytonutrients in through the week, especially if you have a busy life or you're just not a fruit and vegetable eater or you don't have time, right? That's the big thing, no time. It's really a great way just to get everything in. And I know Candace, she always did all of them all at once in one container. So it was good stuff.
Yeah, and you can mix them up. You can use them in the shake. You can do them a la carte. A lot of people will use like the oranges if you're going to go on a hike or be working outside or be at a pool and you don't want to eat a lot. Do a scoop or two of oranges in the shaker bottle with some cold water and ice. And you can just sip it throughout the afternoon. So a lot of good ways to ingest the nutrients, but we want to make sure you do at least one shake every day. I recommend people do it first thing in the morning. However, you can do it anytime. When do you do your shake?
I used to do it in the morning, and here's what happened to me, because this was kind of enlightening. And just a little tip. I used to wake up not hungry. I just wasn't hungry. And that's usually a sign of congested liver. So I started to do the power cleanse and the lean greens. We started doing it together. And it took about a month and a half. And then I'd wake up ravenous. I was so hungry. And so I knew that my liver was like actually getting healthier. So I started to eat breakfast. And now I use the power cleanse and lean greens at least once a day, either in between breakfast and lunch, or I use it maybe at lunch because I'm busy. But I kind of spike it up now. Like I'll put like maybe a scoop of something, nut butter, or I put an avocado in there. I'm putting more fat into it at this point.
Yes.
And then I'll add the power fuel just for that, maybe 3 o'clock, like kind of slump right before dinner, because we don't eat dinner till like 5. So I'm using it either as lunch or in between lunch and dinner, in between breakfast and lunch. It just depends now.
That's great timing. That's when I use it. Yes, I use it first thing in the morning every day. And depending on my schedule, I usually have some kind of salad and veggies and protein for lunch. And I like to get that second shake in around 3:30. Because then by the time I get home to eat around 6 or so, I'm not starving, right? I'm giving my body the nutrients I need, keep the blood sugar there, and keep that fat burning going, right? Without using any stimulants, which is really the key for not only losing body fat, but maintaining a healthy weight long term.
Yeah, so we had a few comments here. My mom made me do Slim Fast. We're sorry, Carrie. We know I have PTSD from that. We have another comment that says, I started adding Power Fuel to my shake in the morning and I noticed a difference. I do too, especially at that 3 o'clock when you start to be like, oh, I'm getting tired. It's warm in my office. And I'm just like, I'm going to go do a shake. That seems to like help me. It's better than a Snickers, everybody, including Snickers. And then somebody asked about the cinnamon shake and any thoughts on bringing that back. I would probably just recommend adding cinnamon to one of the vanilla shakes. I mean, that's pretty much what
the greens is apple cinnamon.
That's
so
good
a lot of people will use that. You can also add some organic cinnamon to the vanilla or one of the other shakes. But we may bring it out, seasonally in the future.
Okay, sounds good. Well, this has been awesome, Jamie. Thank you so much. And all of these shakes, they can get them at the Weiner Wellness Center.
You can pick them up. We're open all day today. You can call the office at 412-922-WELL. That's 412-922-9355. We can do curbside pickup. whatever way you like it, we have it available for you. And everything's on discount, even the mail order.
Wow. Well, that's awesome. Well, thank you so much. And thank you everybody for tuning in. Jamie, that was great. I think it really helped remove the stigma of shakes are just for weight loss. They're not. They're not. They're vital. And we need them today more than ever. More than ever.
What I always recommend for people I'm working with is put the shakes on your grocery budget because they're food.
Yeah.
Okay. You show me a food that you can get all those nutrients in for less than $4 a shake every day. You can't do it.
Yep.
You go out to eat, it's going to cost you 10, 15, 20 bucks. And oftentimes you're going to overeat. So use the shake to get you started every day and just do it for a month or two and see how you feel.
Yep. That's what I always tell them. Supplements are part of your grocery bill. They are. Take off the Chex Mix and the Cheetos. Put in supplements. Learn the health budget, right? All right. Yes. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Have a great day and see everyone soon.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in today. This has been great so far. We're really excited for Chancey Terry, who's coming up next, and she's going to be talking about the 11 biohacks to make you healthier and happier. So stay tuned. Have a great day, and we'll see you in about 8 minutes.